everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Everybody has best laid plans, and sometimes they don't go the way that you plan them. So I am just now getting to filming this, even though I had a list of things yesterday that I wanted to film, but our internet has been down for a long time, for more than 24 hours. The guy is fixing it now. He's just about done, he said. So it was safe for me to come up and film. But, you know, when you have workers at your house and you need your phone to be a phone and not a camera. But I'm getting back on schedule now. Thankfully, I don't schedule a lot of class things in the summer, so I'm not getting behind on that. So for today, I have this, and then I'm going to do the Countryside Inn. I don't know that I'm going to get to Zany Zoo, maybe, because the paper's on sale in June, and June's almost over. So I wanted to show you all of the paper. And for this card, I am using kind of an unexpected paper. I'm using this space one. I don't know if I have the paper in here that says what it's called. I always have my patterns from when I do my try it class in here. So this is a really fun paper, and the thing that I like about it is if you want to do an outer space astronaut kind of card, Star Wars, Star Trek, for somebody in your family, and you have this paper, then you can pull it together. So mine's mostly cut up because of the way that I do my classes, but you can see it's got like space on one side. I feel like saying space, the final frontier. I do like Star Trek, so I could probably rattle off the whole beginning of that if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So you can see how you can easily, just with a circle punch, you don't even need the dies, but the dies are super cute. And it mixes with the hologram paper that I showed you on something else. But my daughter helped me, you know, in the spring, she was a huge help to me. So as part of her payment, she got to pick a bunch of stuff, and I ordered it for her. So one of the things that she picked was the Just My Type, and you know, I bought it, so it was delivered here. So I gave it to her, and then I said, "Are you using this, or can I borrow it back?" So she hasn't even actually had it in her house. So I'm gonna use Just My Type. Super cute. It's gonna be a really quick retro kind of card. It wasn't really what I intended, but you know, sometimes we need really quick when our lives go sideways and our best laid plans kind of fall apart. So a simple card. I'm going to use a white card base. It hardly takes any supplies. Most of you, if you have the basics, then you'll have most of everything that you need for this. And you can make it work with a lot of different things. So there's this piece and there's the orange piece. I thought about doing one of each, but I really liked the way the green turned out. And you can see it's got the outer space on the other side. This. Okay, so we've been to the Guinness. The Guinness, it's not a factory, brewery, I guess, in Ireland, and they have a thing with all the bubbles. That's what this reminds me of. So let's stamp. Oh, I guess I don't need two pieces of that. I thought it felt really thick. I'm going to use Versamark. We're going to stamp this. I am going to use the embossing accessories kit. All of a sudden, I can't think of what it's called, and I'm not even sure that's it. This is the little embossing buddy, and it comes in here. It's pretty humid. It's been raining, and my windows are open. We've had lots of storms. So just rubbing that on here, it's kind of filled like with a cornstarch. So when you rub it on there, it helps if you've got fingerprints or if it's muggy. It will kind of help your paper, the embossing powder, stick only where you want it to stick. So this is a photopolymer stamp. You want to make sure that there's no giant bubbles underneath it, because if there's bubbles underneath it, it means that hasn't touched the paper. You can also use, you know, the proper tools and put something spongy under there. So I've got my typewriter. Then there's a sheet of paper. Let's stamp this up here. It needs to be a little higher. Make sure you don't do it right on the edge, because we need something to tape it onto our other underneath the typewriter. And then there's different words that you can type on the paper. I'm just going to go with high. Let's stamp that there. Now we're going to emboss this in our black powder. So I probably don't need my tweezers for this. The set comes with tweezers, but if you're using a big piece of paper, you would often get away with not having them. So see, now that even though it's muggy and my fingers are pretty dirty, the powder only stuck where I wanted it to stick. And we're going to trim this out, so anything that's around here, I just mostly don't want it in the middle of my white paper. So get that off. And then I am going to take, I'm just going to use my paper to get that off. I don't want to take the time to get that out of there right now. Let's take this. You'll see it a little bit better on the black paper. See, when it comes out, it's just like a cornstarch. So let's take that. Let's get our long stamps that look like typewriter keys. I love this set. Who took typing in high school? Now they call it keyboarding, I think. But there's nothing. In fact, I would like one of those keyboards for my computer that looks like it's the old typewriter keys, because I loved typing. And you know, we were so fancy when we went to word processors. But this is just your old, good old vintage with a ding little typewriter. So we have the Hello keys. And these I'm going to do in the silver embossing powder. Oops, I almost spilled that whole thing because I didn't put the lid on it. So I'm going to kind of put this on this direction. I didn't need any scrap paper for this, but I wasn't really thinking it through. But you know, I have scrap paper from another project. This is when we did the earthen. So now we have that. You want to make sure that you don't have embossing powder in your letters, because you want those to show. And then I'll just clean that up in a second. Hopefully my cats don't come on the table, because all of my embossing powder is just sitting there. I'm going to get my embossing tool. I always find it works better if you let it get hot before you put it on your paper. And just hold it in one spot, let it melt, and then move it on. These two colors and these bold stamps are so easy to see, to make sure that everything is melted, because you can see how nice and shiny it is. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And then just cut this straight. So I just needed to cut it straight across there. And now we have a fun little hello banner. And then I'm just going to take my snips and trim this out. I'm going to trim my paper. I'm going to leave this piece down here. I'm going to kind of angle it that way so it's not any wider. You don't want it to be wider than your piece of paper, but you do need something to adhere that to your typewriter. So super easy. It doesn't have dies, but it doesn't really need them. I'm going to take this and my adhesive. And you're just going to put your typing paper into your typewriter, so you can kind of see, you can make it as high or as low as you want. Just stick it right behind there. Because when I first did this, I thought, oh, it's sad that I don't have a die. Because, you know, a die, we get all those little pieces that are hard for us to cut. But in all actuality, the paper's back here, so it isn't really needed. And take my little hello, put my adhesive on this. And then just put this towards the bottom third of your card. It doesn't have to be perfect. The hello's designed, you can tell, to go straight across the full length of a 4-inch card. And just flip this over. If you want, you can cut it to the right size before you stamp. I like to not have to be even when I stamp it. So this way, it's easier to adhere it evenly than it is to stamp it evenly sometimes. Now, I wanted to put some ribbon on here, but I didn't want a bow. And then I didn't know what ribbon, and I tried some colors, and it is pretty with colors. Like you can put a bright pink or even one of the new pinks with the silver edge. But I decided I wanted to just keep the black and silver theme, or green and silver. So I'm just going to add my adhesive here. And then this is a staple. You should have this, because everybody should have this. It's been out for a few years, and it's just good on all cards. Every card can be made a little happier by adding some gingham, right? So just add the black and white gingham. And then I have, this is the other ribbon I'm going to use is from the Zany Zoo. And it comes in a 2-pack. At first I had the pink on here and then I took it off. And then that's when I went back to the black and white gingham. So if you just lay things across, you can kind of go for what you like the best. This also, these two are about the size of one strip of seal. You can see that one's not quite touching, but I'll grab it on the other side. And then put this up here. So it also doesn't matter if you cut this all the way straight because you can straighten it with your ribbon. Add this. I'm just going to flip this over and grab up all these ends. So if you don't like to tie ribbon, this is a really pretty way to put ribbon on a card. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of it on so I can just stick it to my card when I'm done. Just fold these over. You have really cute ribbon and you didn't have to tie anything. You didn't have to measure anything. It just all fits on here. And any place where that green, like right down here, it didn't quite have enough, that's going to hold it all on. Stick it to our white card. It's a really fun kind of retro summer happy combination. This would be really fun to send if you have somebody going to summer camp or somebody that's going to go to college for the first time, or if you just want to stick it in somebody's lunchbox so they get a fun little surprise. I'm going to use some dimensionals to stick this on here. I hate when I stick them to my table. Those little things stick. I'm going to make sure that one of them got in between the two things. So one more way to make sure my paper is not going to fall out of my typewriter. Already got that one. And then just kind of put it on here. Now, I have been a huge fan of this metallic enamel effects. This is the metallics. It has the silver, the gold, and the copper. So I'm going to use the silver. And then we can cover up all of these little keys. You just squeeze out a tiny amount. It can look like a little bit of a Dairy Queen thing, but as it sits here, they round off. And I'll show you in a second on the one I've already done. So I'm just going to cover up all of my keys. So then there's silver to match the silver keys we just stamped below. There we go. Isn't that cute? It takes I haven't touched mine all the way to see if they're dry. I would say it takes about 20 minutes for them to set. It depends on how much you have and your weather. Then I'm going to use the 2022-2024 in color pearls. That way, again, I thought red might be pretty on here, some hot pink. So it just is what you want to do. You could put black. I decided to just keep going with that green and black theme that we have. And you can see there's the green ones on here. I just want to make sure I don't touch my little keys and smash them right now. So I'm going to put 5. So let's put 1, 2, there we go. How easy was that? But it has lots of fun touches. Here's my other one. So don't touch those. Okay, I'm going to lightly touch these. Oh yeah, those are dry to touch. You wouldn't want to put something on it that's heavy, but you can see they're dry to touch. It kind of makes you want to type something. Isn't that sweet? Super sweet. And it's with the space paper, which I don't remember what it's called if you look down below the video. And remember, it's on sale for the rest of June. And I also have, every month I give thank you gifts, so make sure you use the host code when you put your order in. That way you'll get my free thank yous and you'll get the free VIP projects, with which they're always paper-based, but this month they're going to be a little bit more paper-based because I ordered some paper while it was on sale. Everybody have a great day. I hope your internet stays up for you all of the times that you need it, and I will catch you back here later. Bye.